loop back. So let's go through the whole thing with this. With it turned off, and you turn it on, you're looking for T1 pulses first. T1 pulse light should come on. So you have T1 pulses. It's not okay, T1 pulses is on, and see we have it in the bridge tap mode, which goes through all the different patterns. So
Which says, what does it say, T1 on there?
It says T1, but when you push the modes, it'll tell you when you come up to bridge tap, it'll go through all the different, starting with the lowest T1 to the highest pattern T1. It'll go through all of it within 10.5 minutes.
Okay.
So you hit this, and when that light goes off, this light should come on, and it did.
The loop back.
The loop back. When you push the loop up, it loops up. When it goes off, and it's looped, and it come back. So so it's running a test right now. And when a test is done, like I say, to go all the way back to all ones again, this is what you're watching for here. Here's your time. There's your results. And you can go to the different, you can go to signal. Here's how many errors. But it's all the results are okay. So I mean you can set that like that. This is how I got set so you can watch it. And here it's going through its T1 mode, and it's in the 1 and 1 pattern. Then it'll look for bridge tap in the 1 and 1 pattern. See, there's a bridge tap, and then it'll go to the next pattern. Then it'll stress it for bridge tap also. And as long as it don't error out, then it'll say all results okay.
So what we're really just looking at is that the results are okay when it's finished.
Well, you got to know you're in the right mode and pattern.
Okay.
So this is set up to pretty much just do this. I used to test ISDNs, but we don't put ISDNs
Run
anymore.
some of the patterns and then
That's
it may
what this
start
shelf's for,
failing
the
on a
ISDN.
pattern or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it could fail on a pattern. Like if you're down there and you brush against it, it could fail. Or if somebody jarred the terminal or hammered on the wall. Or if it's in a wet cable. So if it's a wet cable, a lot of times it will. This puts out 190 volts. So you ought to have this unplugged when your other guy's on the other end hooking it up.
Either that or he'll get 190 volts.
Yeah. It's not big amps, but it's voltage.
Oh, I know. I've been zapped plenty.
That's looking for bridge tap in the 1.6 mode. Now it's at 1.6, must have been 1.5. Then it'll jump into 3.4 and that kind of thing. And when it gets to quasi, then it's almost done. But if you're looking at your time, I think it's 10 minutes, 28 seconds. I think it goes through the whole cycle.
So
that's what we run it for that much time. And then if it
it's going to take 15 minutes per pair, basically, if you're testing.
About 10 minutes.
10 minutes, and then move it to the next
Well,
one.
that's what I
Yeah.
mean.
And then if it fails, it'll tell you what pattern it failed in. I mean, you can let it keep going, and it will tell you all the patterns it failed in. Then you could come back and just run it on that pattern.
Okay.
Or if it's
just test
close,
for that pattern.
If it's going to fail, usually it fails within the first couple patterns, and if it does, we'll just make sure everything's not touching and restart it.
What's the difference between the patterns?
That's how much bits, I guess, it's sending out.
Oh, I
Going
see.
back and
Okay.
forth.
You don't
It's the
even look
speed.
at the
Slower.
It
machine,
tests at a
he
different
just
speed.
at his
Yeah.
phone. You don't even look at the machine, he just looks at his phone.